Push, I want to come back to you, man. Kind of staying on this. You've been in the game 22 years, most of it in Columbus. And we hear a lot of the old, myself included, in the older guys talking about, like, you know, maybe before my time, before Corrupt's time, like, oh man, the house and techno scene in Columbus was so good back then. You've seen it all, man. Do you think the best days in house are behind us? You think we're living in it right now? Maybe not 2020, but like 2018, 2019? Or do you think that with this renaissance that we just talked about, do you think that the best days of house in Columbus are in front of us, with the city growing at the fourth largest rate in the country?
I would say that it's a pretty static thing. It's always been there. It's not going to go away. I mean, it would be like saying the blues are going to go away, rock and roll is going to go away. Like, this is not a genre. It's a genre that takes a left turn and a right turn here and there. There's lots of subgenres that fall off around it. Some of them go strong, some of them fizzle. But it always comes back to house and techno. Let's look at movement. Let's look at like that's purely based around a techno idea. House, Chicago. Like, let's like there's entire cities in this country right now that are going around that. And in our city is very diverse. We have a whole bunch of different stuff. Back in the day, like I was saying, it was a 50-50 house techno. There was actually a party at the Red Zone called House versus Techno. Tatan played, Jeff Pons played, Jason Lyman played, a whole bunch of like the old school, like really, really good guys. And they all had shirts. One said house, one said techno, and they would go back to back to back to back to back to back. That's awesome. Pretty bad. It was bad.
We need to do that. Corrupt. We got to put that on the list for Dahlia when things start to come back. I think that'd be a really dope party idea.
House versus techno.
Yeah, man. I think that's awesome. Like a patio versus the inside or something like that.
Yeah.
Toby, you mentioned some names that I don't even know. Maybe you could talk about, like, who the pioneers were in the city, and then like what they did well. So, for instance, I hear about Mike G and like just the way he was able to connect with the crowd, and then kind of hear about these other guys.
Legend.
He is a legend. I actually, at one point, Aaron found and released a set of him playing at 700 North High, which is where Level was in the short north. It's basically pretty close to Buttles and High. It's just a little bit north. I mean, that guy's he's a fucking legend, and he'll call you legend every time he talks to you.
Yeah.
What's up, legend? Anywho, like, so that guy, like, I mean, he threw it all. I'm pretty sure he mortgaged his house and lived inside of the Red Zone just to like build that club, is how the story goes. Like, how I've seen it. The apartment was in there before it was demolished and became kind of the green room. But a whole bunch of legends. Walt of Collective Intelligence. He threw Metamorphosis at the convention center, which was like an eye-opener for everybody. He plays breaks. He brought a lot of jungle people in. Back in the day, there always used to be 2 rooms: front room house, back room jungle, almost always, or back room hip hop. And that's where all the breakers were hanging out. There's Jeff Pons and Jason Lyman, the Quality Crew. Mike Poe is in that. Steve Solo. They were a part of, and Doughboy, Pitch Control Productions. They used to do Clockwork Sundays. One Sunday a month, they would bring the biggest DJs, DJ Funk. I'm spacing on like someone, but they were bringing like huge national talent, like lines around the corner.
Wasn't Carl Cox coming here like every month? Were they like the one guys bringing him?
They would have been.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, and Jeff Pons, like, I mean, he's a hugely successful architect, like the Granby Yard, like that's him. Like, he's moved on, but he's great guy. Other people, there's a guy named Rory and Ryan. They ran Malfunction. I think they did like 20 some parties, all of them successful except for the very last one. But I mean, they were huge in this system. The crew that I was connected to, the Surreal crew, Tilt 1, 2, 3, Cake, Motive, we were doing a lot of parties and a lot of stuff. There was stuff in Whitehall. There used to be a paintball place in Graceland Shopping Center. We did a couple there. And we can't discount Pit Tauntaun and Thomas James. Thomas James kind of fell off the map. Not really sure what happened to him. But those two, they ran Residual Recordings and also Residual, which they threw a bunch of parties, a whole ton of parties. It was.
Toby, do you remember people named Blue Bunny?
I do not.
Blue Bunny threw some events when it was Spice Bar next to.
What year was that?
I want to.
What was it, like 2004 or later? Because if it was, yeah. I left in 2004. I went to Nashville, Tennessee, and didn't come back till 2009.
You did your country career, right? That was your country.
Yeah, I went to Nashville. I went to Atlanta, but then I went to Annapolis, Maryland, and Baltimore, and then came back here.
Dang. Okay. Columbus the best?
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
There you go. Cool. Well, before we get into Warzone time, why don't you guys tell the audience where they can find you both online and in person?
Oh yeah,
go ahead,
Instagram, Spotify, Facebook are my main things right now. I don't have a Twitter. I probably should get one.
Yes.
You don't have to tweet, just read people's dumb tweets. That's what we do.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I started Twitter like way back in high school, and I just didn't like the content, and I just couldn't get into it. But like now, I probably should, for sure.
Absolutely. And a MailChimp. MailChimp is huge, bro. If you don't have one, I'm gonna get on. Ask Entel how long it took me to get him on MailChimp, especially for producers, because.
Who's that?
MailChimp, it's a mail service. So I think a functioning human being probably checks their email at least once a week, right? And Music by BOCKOVEN's newest song released, or maybe it's the releases for the month, are going to be on there. I feel like with Instagram, you're relying on the algorithm to show me the stuff. If someone's only on Instagram, even if they follow you, but it's only been for an hour, maybe stuff by Lane 8, stuff by Tale of Us comes up first, and by that time I'm done with Instagram. So I don't see that Max released a new album. If you get them on your MailChimp, that's one way to guarantee that they see it. They may not click on it, but at least when they see you, they can't say, "Oh, I didn't know you released a track," or that, when they see you and you say, "Oh, I released a track. Oh yeah, I got your email." So it's just one more way to get attention on your stuff. And it's a guaranteed way for people that people look at it. So
yeah, that's will solve so many problems, because I send so many demos to artists, and then I just see like no plays or anything, no replies. So they're not even like looking at the track. So I don't even know.
Which what I would tell you is, if they're not looking at it, it means they haven't listened to it. So don't take it personal, because they're getting so many demos. So it's like,
this is more so people can support you more easily. Like I want to see your music, but I may not like. I know you probably don't post as much on Instagram as other people who I follow, so I may miss it. And I want to put your releases on the podcast, which we're going to talk about in a second. But yeah, I would say, talk to Entel, because I literally was yelling at him for 3 years to do it. And now I see every time he puts out a track, and that's really helpful for me to support him and then also to put him on the podcast. But I want to move over to Push. Where can we find you on the internet and in person?
I would say, you can find Push Productions on Facebook, Run 614 on Facebook. Run 614 is not just me, so I don't want to say that. That is most assuredly a few of us. Toby the One on Instagram. Also, Toby the One on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Is where you can find me in person. If the forum ever opens back up, you'll see me there. You'll see a rotating group of us for sure. Probably going to do a live broadcast at some point because it's been a minute since I have. Think I'll probably do a vinyl old school one. I did one, but I didn't have good sound, but I'll do another. It had really good following, except people said it didn't sound good because I wasn't connected in. So that's where you can find me.
Cool.
That's one thing about that's one thing about quarantine that I love is live streaming actually, because you can just basically set up a time where you can play a set at any point. You know, no one's gonna tell you no.
From the comfort of your own home, even.
Right. Exactly.
Yep. As I just mentioned, for the 614 releases this week, I know Body Buzz was released. The Body Buzz EP was released by Governor. So big shout out to Govan. He's been releasing stuff, I think, every Friday. And that's all I saw on Instagram. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, hey, I released something, get on MailChimp, send me your MailChimp, and I will subscribe. And then I will promise to put this on the podcast. Krupt and I do our best to find out who's releasing what. But as you guys know, the algorithm can be a bitch. Let's just be honest. So, Krupt, do you know anyone else who released anything this week?
No, I was just gonna say, shout out to Govan putting out these tracks, but also Max, that's another reason you got to get Twitter so you can read Govan's tweets on everything.
Oh my God,
they're fucking hilarious, dude.
Oh my God,
you are getting 100% Govan 100% of the time.
Oh yeah.
And then if you are watching this on YouTube, please like the video, especially if you found something helpful, or you like Toby, you like Max, you want to let us know, hey, have these guys on again. Let us know in the comments, and then do subscribe for more podcasts, more gear reviews, more discussions, and tutorials every Wednesday. Krupp, take us out.
Episode 20, guys. Thanks so much, Max. I'm proud of you. You're kicking ass. We will get you back in there eventually, man, for some shows. Toby, we've thrown some killer parties. I really hope Oz10's kind of hinting that we'll try to get another Kool-Aid party someday. But you definitely don't retire because we need you. So
yeah, man. That made me sad for a minute. So I'm glad you went the opposite direction for sure.
Thank you guys for joining us, man. We love doing this.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Of course, guys.
Thanks for everybody who tuned in.
Stay safe.